What's going on, guys? This is mtgxerxes here, and we're gonna walk through the first challenge, Reverse the Assault. Picture of Sarah Angel there. Alright, now most of these challenges aren't too bad, but that's usually easy to say once you've gotten them complete. In the first challenge, here, let's stop the timer real quick. It gave the little restriction that we have to win on next turn, but it's this guy's turn first. So that means we have to survive initially before we can even get to our next turn. And he's about to bring it to us. So as you can tell down in the corner, we've got 5 life, and he's bringing in a couple of creatures. So regardless of what we're thinking right now with the creatures that we have and the cards we have in our hand, how are we going to deal 11 damage next turn? We have to make sure that whatever we do for our thought process, we take 4 or less this turn. So there's actually 3 different ways that I've figured out how to do this challenge, and we're going to go through all 3 of them. The first way that I discovered was using this cheap Goblin Piker, let's zoom in on him, Goblin Piker, to block this big guy, the Sentinel Spider. Declare him as a blocker, and then once he's declared as a blocker, this guy will no longer deal damage to you because he's blocked. And then you can proceed to use Fling to target creatures. We're going to target that spider and fling this goblin, which is going to finish off by dealing 2 direct damage before combat itself resolves. It's just a fancy way of how the phases work, and we're manipulating that. Now that it's our turn again, we play our land. We use Active Treason to steal his Vigilant guy. So not only does it remove a blocker that he has against us to block with, it gives us 4 more points of attack. And then we just pump up our Dragon Hatchling as much as possible. Swing for the fences. Once, of course, he pumps all the way up. I don't have auto-resolution on my game because I don't like the game auto-resoluting things for me. So we attack with everything, and some quick math shows that that's going to be 11 points of damage and the victory. So there's our first way of how to defeat this challenge. But let's look at the other ones, just because they're a little bit different and they're a little more fun, perhaps. Alright. Can we survive the assault and win on our next turn? The requirements haven't changed. So he attacks the exact same way, but whereas last time how we blocked with the Piker on this guy, the new way that we could do it would be that we're going to block with our big guy on either one of these 2. It doesn't really matter too much. I suppose we'll just block that one. I guess it matters a little bit, because what we're going to be doing is once they're both declared as a blocker, we're going to fling our own guy to damage the player directly. Make sure you target the opponent. And we're going to fling our 3/1 creature, what's his name? Reckless Brute. And that'll deal 3 points immediately to Garrick. His creature is still blocked, and then we need to take, obviously, only 4 points of damage or less, so we have to block the spider. Now he's at 8. You proceed to do the same course of action where you steal his creature. You pump up your hatchling 4 times, and you notice that that's going to be 8 points of damage for somebody who's only at 8 life, and, you know, as long as you have 1 like we have, everything's going to be a-okay. Just make sure you don't go below that. So it's our attack phase. Swing in with both creatures. He has no cards in his hand. He has no response. He has nothing left. He's dead. So now we're going to proceed to our 3rd form to finish this challenge with. And I personally think the 3rd one's a little bit more fun. And it's just kind of insult to injury a little bit. So that's what we're going to go with. It's a little bit systematically different too. He continues to attack with his 3 creatures, but instead this time we're going to use our hatchling to block, and then of course our Piker to block as well. It doesn't necessarily matter who you block during these segments, just as long as you block at least, as long as you take 4 or less damage is really all it comes down to. So now that it's during our turn, play the land. Again, we're going to, come on, move over. Active Treason on his spider creature. And we're going to proceed to combat. Now this looks a little bit different as he's only at 11. I mean, he's still at 11, but instead the previous times he was a little bit down. So this time we get him down to 4 instead of down to 3. But the cool part is, now that we've taken control of his creature, we can now use it to fling as a sacrifice. So instead in the other games when we were just stealing it and attacking with it, he would get it back. In this method, by using it for fling, it actually kills his creature. So even if the game wasn't going to be over at that point, we're better off doing it that way so that we can fling his creature and finish it off as opposed to sacrificing one of our own. So there is the first challenge, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Catch you later, and peace.